Our session is about to begin in 10 minutes. Please get comfy in your couches as we get ready for an afternoon of learning and insights from the industry's leading experts. We would like to thank our official partners for making this event initiative possible. E-learning partner, O-Learn, Geyser Maklang, Analytics, Data, Advertising, Esquire Financing, Fueling Dreams, PayMaya, Angkas, PMCM Events Management, Tony Bilang, the total host.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Zomato Philippines' first online event. And this is our last day. This is our last episode. Joined today by my co host, Tony. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hi, hi, Miss Mice. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you again for those who have watched our previous two webinars. And yes, today is our third and last leg of this series, Miss Mice. Kamusta ka?
Oh, I'm good. I'm doing good today. It's very, very hot. As you
I
can
know,
see, my electric fan is in front of my face. It's very
I
hot.
know.
And we have also a very hot topic. And of course, before we start the program, we encourage everyone, all our viewers, to post about the event using our official hashtags. That's hashtag ZomatoPH, hashtag QuarantinePH, hashtag Quarantine2020, hashtag ZomaTalks. With that said, we welcome you everyone. This is the last day of hashtag quarantine, supporting the food industry in the time of crisis. And of course, we have a
Yes.
lot of speakers today.
Yeah, so we have actually three speakers, as we've said before. Hindi lang isa, dalawa. We have three, resource speakers that would definitely interest you guys. So that's why marami na tayo mga nanonood right now in our live feed here. Just please do comment. If you do have questions, feel free to use the chat box. We will try our best to read all your questions. And after the discussion of our three speakers, we will have our Q&A. So we will have all your questions asked during that time. So for now, we just want to give a shout out to
Yes,
our viewers. We come all the way from Angeles, Bay Laguna. So comment lang po kayo where you're from or what restaurant you are representing so that we can give you a quick shout out before we start our webinar.
we have also
And
here Betty Lozano Galvez watching from Candon City Division. From
yes,
also Mauro Garcia Angeles City.
yes, and we have here from Lipa, Ernie from Lipa. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in, and also from Calauan, Laguna. I've seen a lot of consistent viewers nandito. So if ever since day one natin, they have been here supporting Zomato.
We also have from Kawit, Cavite, Lipa City, and a lot more in Isabela. Hold on lang po. We have a lot of topics to talk about today. Last May 4, we had branding. Last May 6, we had financing your restaurant business. And today, technology, restaurant technology. And we have three special guests.
Yes. So syempre, 'di ba, the webinar is like a series of events. So we started with the branding, we started then we had financing. Then we had to this one here, Annalyn Hernandez from Pasig, also from Pinagbuhatan Elementary School Division. We also have from National University Manila, and all the way from Tagaytay, Siglo Modern Filipino. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Okay, so to start our program, I would like to introduce to you, syempre, very special, our first speaker. Without Zomato Philippines and without this speaker, this event will not be possible. So, Tony, may I
Yes.
introduce our first speaker?
Go ahead, Miss Mice.
Okay, our first speaker is the helm of Zomato Philippines. After being assigned in the country, he was also the business head of Zomato Australia's Brisbane office, leading the sales, content, and marketing teams in growth, innovation, and operational efficiencies. He has been in the hospitality industry since the age of 15. Wow. And was worked through all the facets of food and beverage operations in standalone restaurants, chains, and leading hotels in Australia and overseas. You could probably say he lives and breathes the F&B industry. Now, on the other side, so to speak, he has been taking a consultative approach with the industry, helping them to improve their business utilizing data and technology. So please welcome the country head of Zomato Philippines, Mr. Chris Evans. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Mice. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Things are a
Yeah.
little bit different today.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. It's exciting to get to this day where I can actually, talk about a little bit more than just a warm welcome or and that sort of thing. So I'm very excited about today's session.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking down notes for today. A lot of learning. So go ahead, Chris.
Please do.
Take it
There's
away.
three of us today, so let's get started. Today we are talking about, restaurant technology in a post-COVID era, and just restaurant technology in general, I guess. So, of course, myself, followed by George from Angkas and Paul from PayMaya, will be able to give some insights into various technologies that most of you will hopefully be aware of, but we can elaborate on that. So, to get started, we'll just move to the first slide. Thanks, Jester. I thought it would be a good opportunity just to discuss a quick recap of where we were even before COVID. So before this madness ensued, so to speak, there was a really big rise in the Filipino middle class. What that did was increase discretionary spending, and what we saw within the hospitality industry was a real increase in the revenue through the rise of the middle class, as well as the spend through the tourism industry. Of course, with that and that opportunity, we saw a very steady increase in restaurant supply. So on the Zomato platform itself, there was almost a 20% increase in the number of restaurants in Metro Manila alone from 2018 versus 2019. Yet despite all of that, there was still a relatively slow technology adoption. I'm not sure about you guys on this webinar, but I've certainly heard, the Wi-Fi is not good enough. The customers won't adopt it, and there's been a real kind of slower adoption of technology compared to other parts of the world. Next slide, Chester. So we now look at what's happening now. Of course, we've been in lockdown for over 8 weeks. That's clearly going to see a decline in business and a decline in the spending capacity across all industries. People are going to the grocery less. There's been a surge in online groceries and different third-party aggregators and platforms out there. Of course, with dining out prohibited, there's been a huge increase in food delivery, both in demand and supply, as well as takeaway. And of course, a huge focus on the preventative health measures that have been implemented. Next slide, Chester. So I guess for today, we're thinking about what's next. Of course, at some point, dining out will be allowed again. We, of course, don't know when that is. It could be a matter of months and several months at that. When it is allowed, it will come back, and of course, expectations will be that there will be restrictions in place. A lot of those restrictions will be because of the health and safety factor, whether it comes down to social distancing, or as far as the 25% or the 50% occupancy levels that many are expecting, as well as a continuation of things like temperature checks and sound hygiene practices. I think no doubt there's a lot of research and studies happening right now where, or that is suggesting that consumers will be extremely price and value driven, potentially not eating out as often. But I think human nature will definitely have us wanting to come back to restaurants. But because of the economic climate, we may just need to rope in our spend. So looking for more price and value driven dining options, I guess. Next slide, Chester. So what does that mean from a technology perspective? So it's all about adaptation and future proofing. So there's always been and always will be many different technologies out there for all businesses to adopt. I think in hospitality, certainly what I see back in my home country of Australia, what we see in countries like China, Japan, and the US is the adoption of technology within the hospitality space is a lot more advanced than it has been here in the Philippines. But of course, in this current climate, things like virtual marketplace, I think that covers everything from a personal perspective. Of course, the obvious ones are things like e-commerce sites, which provide restaurateurs opportunities potentially to sell ready-to-eat meals and things like that you've potentially been working on to adapt. I think even your Facebook, Instagram, and website can be your virtual marketplaces. Users are reaching out online a lot more than they used to research. Of course, we cannot just walk down the street and walk into a venue right now. So that will be something that we'll certainly see continue. Even something as simple as your Zomato listing as a resource for you. Now, if you haven't already, is the time to claim that listing and become a lot more active with your online real estate from that perspective. Delivery, I don't think we need to touch on delivery too much. I know George from Angkas will talk a little bit about that later on. Whether it is using a third party, although there's also been a trend more recently because of the current climate for many restaurants to do their own delivery services. I think that's a great opportunity for many restaurants. If you didn't do delivery before, you potentially have some staff that can resource for that. Raj, who spoke on Wednesday's session around financing, talked about utilizing your staff and potentially looking at a output-based pay model, things like paying them per delivery and things like that. So there's a lot of options around delivery, a lot of other platforms that you can white label in order to take delivery orders, or even over your own website. I actually, on that note, Zomato actually stopped doing delivery ourselves back in December last year. And we've actually reached out to some businesses because we have a supply of delivery bags that we're happy to sell at a lower than cost price to help anyone who wants to do that self-delivery option. I think online reservations will be another thing that we've been very reluctant to take on here in the Philippines compared to other countries. However, with the health and safety concerns of customers, as well as potentially any mandated controls, again, I'll use an example in Australia. For the restaurant industry, when they reopen, they will reopen in stages, and they've actually got an app in where only people that have this app downloaded will be able to freely enter a restaurant. And if they don't have the app downloaded, then they will actually have to check in, if you like, and supply their name, their email address, and phone number. So an online reservation platform or software will actually really help you, I guess, track that information. And worst case scenario, if ever someone contracted the coronavirus, and they could be traced to be in your restaurant, you would have a full database of people that you could reach out to give them that knowledge. In addition to that, one thing's probably for sure, that we'll all be operating with a lower occupancy in your restaurant when you are allowed to reopen. So from that perspective, an expectation will be that the customer will be a lot more inclined to book online or to book more than walk in, as they had done in the past. Something that is definitely being seen overseas are digital menus. So if you think to the digital boards that you see in even a McDonald's or in other QSRs, we may start to see things like that in more of the restaurant setting. There are a lot of businesses that can actually supply digitized menus through iPads and other tablet technology. However, what we're seeing is more platforms coming together to provide digital menus that customers can actually view through their own phone, because the main thing here will be about reducing the amount of contact that a customer has to have. So the previous tablet model would defeat the purpose of that. Contactless payments, I think, is actually a big no-brainer. Again, something that we here in the Philippines have very much a cash-heavy mindset. I think this will definitely be the thing that spurs many businesses to adopt a contactless payment option, which is something that the consumer will definitely look for. through this period, many people have been driven online and getting used to that contactless payment option. So that is something, again, we'll learn more about that if you need more info from Paul from PayMaya later on in this session. But the reduced contact with cash will be, again, a bit of a no-brainer. Finally, something that we think will become the norm is or are contactless dining experiences. So because of the concerns of a consumer when it comes to health and safety and the like, the contactless dining experience will be something that will actually be looked for through the digital menus and contactless payments and the like. On that note, as an example, here at Zomato, we're actually launching a contactless dining option. So next slide. Thanks, Jester. Just a very brief rundown. It's basically going to be an opportunity for restaurants to have a contactless menu, a contactless ordering system, and a contactless payment system, the beauty of which requires no additional hardware other than perhaps an existing laptop and smartphone device. So a consumer would be able to come in, a customer come in and scan a QR code on your table, which will bring up the menu, which would automatically attach it to that particular table that the customer is sitting on. From there, they would actually make their order through the smartphone, very similar to the current delivery user flow that many of us probably have used through various platforms. And then ultimately at the end of the meal, they can also pay through their phone, ensuring a fully contactless experience. So that, in addition to any health and safety measures that may need to be employed, such as the sanitization of kitchens and food, regular sanitization of the table, in addition to potentially wearing masks, both for customers and staff and the like, all of that will allow for a very safe and efficient dining experience for customers, which again, we believe will be the number one priority of the consumer in the future. Products like this actually already exist. They weren't necessarily pitched as contactless dining. They were more pitched as a way to get data, to get insights into how the customer is dining and create efficiencies in the menu by allowing the staff to no longer become order takers or money takers and actually allow the staff to concentrate on providing a high level of customer service. So whilst this is an immediate need and an immediate priority for our customers, I would expect that after 6 months, 12 months, even 2 years down the line, when vaccines and the health and safety of particularly around COVID is no longer, platforms like this will actually remain because consumers will become used to them. It provides those efficiencies and those data and insights for restaurants. So I guess a bit of a summary in relation to what else we can expect or recommendations. Next slide. Thanks, Jester. So I think, you've probably all heard before, and we've heard it through the previous sessions this week, that reinvention will be the key. As business owners, if you haven't already, you need to look to reinvent. Again, with dine out looking to still be a fair way down the track. Takeaway, delivery, and different opportunities around doing ready-to-eat meals and things like that out of your existing kitchens will be extremely important. I've put on there, be informed. I think it probably stands to reason, but now more than ever, there's so many platforms, so many technology, some where you'll have probably people like Zomato proactively telling you, and then there's so many more technology resources out there, even overseas and things like that, that can potentially be helpful for your business. So, utilizing this time to be informed about what opportunities are out there when it comes to technology, I think is extremely important. Definitely am expecting, a low touch, high tech type of business to be born. So that could be one of your businesses. could become one of these new low-touch, high-tech models as you reinvent yourself. Or perhaps you're looking to start a new business, or you're about to before this lockdown came into effect. What I mean by that is if you are starting to reinvent or looking to open a business, the low-touch, high-tech model makes sense, not just for now, but into the future. I think Jason on Monday mentioned this, and I resonated with it because I also go to this coffee shop every morning, or used to, Harlan and Holden in BGC, who is a perfect example of this model, where they had tablets for ordering. Now they're currently just using their own app. So they actually are a little bit ahead of the curve from that perspective, and allows for them to create a lot of efficiencies. And from a user perspective, you get to have a contactless and smooth experience, and all the while they're collecting these insights. And again, as I mentioned, health and safety should remain priority, not just in 3 to 6 months, but for quite some time. Here at Zomato, in addition to our contactless dining model, we have also are really going to be proactive in promoting a restaurant's health and safety measures. Within the contactless dining model itself, a restaurant will be able to put things in there like when the staff were last temperature checked, when the table was last sanitized, and we're following the World Health Organization's best practices when it comes to a self-declaration that restaurants can do to say that they're meeting all of these requirements. By doing that now, when you are allowed to open for dine out again, you will be able to promote the fact that you have implemented all of these measures to give the customer that safety or that knowledge that you're following all these guidelines and that you're a safe place to eat. Without doubt, embrace technology now. If you were reluctant before, if it was because of the Wi-Fi or if it was because you didn't think your customers would adopt a particular technology, now's the time to embrace technology. Your customers have been doing that for the last 8 weeks. I, of course, accept that there will be segments of the population that don't, but the large majority of the population now have been buying things online. They've been ordering their groceries, being familiar with food delivery. So now is an opportunity to actually embrace technology and ride that wave. Going contactless makes complete sense, like I said, in relation to both tech as well as the health and safety. Lastly, I just thought I would share, I think we all have to remind ourselves that there's no quick fix. There's a lot of information, misinformation, a lot of data points out there, and we have to try and make informed decisions. We're years away from coming out the other side of this. I think history is a great indication of what we can expect. I think back to the global financial crisis of 2007. I was in Australia, so I don't know the impact here. I can only assume that the impact for restaurants here was felt just like it was in Australia, where business completely, declined. I think for us in Australia, it was the death of fine dining. It was the death of the corporate spend. So because of that, it really took 2 years for us to come out of that. So I think, we can expect for that to be at least the same out of this. So be patient, not expect for us to flip the switch and look to just survive and break even for the remainder of this year. Again, Raj mentioned this in Wednesday's session. We can look to, make those leaps and bounce back in 2021 and 2022 and beyond. I think there'll be a lot of great businesses that are born out of this time. And again, with technology being a huge driver of that. That's just a quick summary from me, guys. We're going to have a Q&A at the end. So I welcome all of your questions at the end of all of the talks this afternoon. All the presentations are going to be shared. So if you have any questions, you can, of course, ask me through my contact details. And I look forward to just, working with everybody to, get the industry back on its feet after this, and look forward to seeing everybody's innovation and drive to come through this. So thank you, and look forward to chatting with you later on in this session.
All right, thank you so much, Chris, for that very insightful discussion. I know a lot of people are now raging in the live chat with what you have said on contactless dining. There are a lot of questions actually, but hopefully, can we just have one question for now before you leave? There's one comment here from Chris Franco. I was wondering if you guys could add more table reservations for restaurants in Metro Manila.
That we can 100% do. So if a restaurant wants to come on board with table reservations, we have 3 different options for them. So again, they can contact me direct, or if they know who their Zomato representative is, they can just get in contact and they can get set up pretty quickly.
All right. So Chris, you will be joining us later for another set of Q&A after our 2 resource speakers. So I'll see you later.
Thanks, Tony. We'll see you soon.
Alrighty. So that, once again, ladies and gentlemen, is Chris Evans of Zomato Philippines. So again, just keep on asking questions. Just go ahead and use our live chat here. We are seeing all your questions, guys, so don't hesitate. Later on, after the 3 speakers are done, we'll have our Q&A. So I know you're excited for our next speaker, Eto na siya. So on to our next guest. He has over 20 years of extensive experience in the areas of credit card sales and distribution, unsecured personal loans, channel management, customer service, sales support and enabling, retail branch, banking business, financial technology and digital wallets and payment solutions in the countries, leading foreign banks and fintech institution in the country. This encompassed leading, developing, and managing competent sales channels and expanding and sustaining market frontiers. He also currently leads the PayMaya QR ecosystem team for sales. Here to talk about payment solutions is Mr. Paul Betia. Good afternoon, Sir Paul.
Good afternoon, Tony. Thank you so much for that delightful introduction. Good afternoon, everyone who's watching over Facebook. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
All right. So alam ko, a lot of people are looking forward to this topic. So, Sir
Yes.
Paul, take it away.
Okay. No, I was just listening intently to Chris earlier, and a lot of valid points. A lot of takeaways from that, and I'm sure a lot of those who are watching learn from it. Key takeaways there is, it's not going to be the same. You have to revisit now. Look at your plans moving forward. Adoption of technology, practicing of safety protocols, and the likes. We'll take care of the payment acceptance side of that. No, so it will complement what Chris was discussing earlier. Allow me to just work on sharing my screen now. Okay. Tony, let me know if you're seeing my screen.
Yes, we are seeing your screen.
Okay. So here we go. So PayMaya, and I'll be talking about itong tatlong items na to. Sino kami? Bakit natin kailangan mag-digitalize ng payments at ano yung mga solutions namin na relevant sa ating mga kaibigang mga restaurateurs and restaurant owners, no? So as for myself, it was already covered by Tony earlier. I've worked with the banking industry for quite some time. And now I moved on to the fintech space. I'm with PayMaya, and I'm enjoying my stay here. I'm enjoying the challenge of proliferating payment solutions, and making it ubiquitous to society, so that acceptance will be just a very common thing in the future. Okay, so who we are, PayMaya. Okay, moment. Okay. Okay, PayMaya is a digital financial technology company under Voyager. We are the largest tech company in the country now, and we are a leader in the emerging payments acceptance solutions. We cover enterprises, no matter how small, from the casual seller to your micro small businesses to the big corporations and the conglomerates. We have solutions for all of these organizations. And then we are also a proudly Filipino company. We were founded by a Filipino. Our technology is driven by Filipinos, and 100% Filipino. But as you can see in the lower portion of my slide, though we are a Filipino company, we are powered by PLDT. But over the last 2 years, we have seen we were fortunate enough to have new stakeholders coming from one the KKR group of companies. It's a very, very big investment firm in the US. Second is Tencent. This is a technology conglomerate of Chinese multinationals, a very big company powering WeChat Pay and WhatsApp. And the third is IFC. No, this is the investment arm of the World Bank, and they're really keen on powering and helping us improve on financial inclusion in the Philippines. So these are the people, these are the companies behind powering PayMaya. Okay, so a lot of people would know PayMaya as an e-wallet. That's the first brand that we have here in the slide. E-wallet is, it is like having your physical wallet, but this one is everything is in your cell phone. You have your money there, you have your card details there, you have the ATM there. It's similar to your GCash. It's similar to your coins. Now, hopping over to the far end is Smart Padala. It's also another company under PayMaya. Very, 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 very prominent these days. This is the domestic remittance company. A lot of people have been very thankful for the services that are offered by Smart Padala. We cover around more than 30,000 Smart Padala stores or Smart Padala agents nationwide, and it's practically in every barangay in the country. So that is very busy now. People sending and receiving remittances from their families and loved ones. And back to the middle is the focal point. PayMaya Enterprise Merchant Acquiring, that's where we're part of. We are in the business of finding or providing solutions for acceptance payments for all types of organizations. Now, specific to our conversation today, to the restaurateurs and to the restaurants here, I will share later on some of the solutions that you might want to consider, aligning with what Chris was saying earlier, going contactless, minimize of handling of the cash and the like. So I'll give examples of that later on. Okay, so strategic partners. Obviously, we are a DSP regulated company. So that should give comfort to everyone who is affiliated with us or wants to be affiliated with us that we are supervised. And as you can see, all the other major brands below the DSP logo, strong affiliations with MasterCard, Visa, BankNet, WeChat Pay, and soon to have other affiliations with these partners that we're showing also. And on the strategic level, we have just some of the major brands that are with us in PayMaya. You can see the Jollibee, McDonald's, Burger King. And moving closer down the screen, you will see also their government agencies. In fact, we are now really gaining ground in this space. We are now accounting for around more than 20 government agencies that have affiliated with us, mostly powering their online payment solutions. DTI is there, BIR is there, SSS is there. In fact, we are powering some of the amelioration programs of the government to our disbursement portals and to our e-wallets. So we're everywhere. It's not just for the consumer or for the merchant, but even for the government. And as we say in PayMaya, PayMaya for every Filipino. So why digitize payment? This is again an offshoot or probably aligning with what Chris was mentioning earlier. There are 5 key points that we want you to consider. And wag po kayong mailang, no? It's perfectly fine. Pag-aralan natin to, pag-usapan natin to, at subukan nyo. Huwag kayong matatakot sa technology. Okay, so unang-una, go online. Kung ang inyong negosyo ay brick and mortar or a physical store, siguro napapanahon na rin na pag-isipan nyo na mag-expand ng inyong negosyo or distribution paggamit ng e-commerce or online. Laganap na po ngayon yan, lalong-lalo na sa itong panahon ngayon. Ang daming nagsulputan na Viber groups ng FB Messenger selling, and yung e-commerce or yung ating tinatawag na conversational commerce ay talagang nagfo-flourish itong mga araw na ito. No? Number 2, all channels. No? So, yun yung sinabi ko kanina, i-consider nyo na hindi lang tayo nakapirme sa physical stores. Consider nyo to open up. Kahit maliit lang, magsubok lang kayo ng mag-Facebook or Marketplace or Viber group and Instagram and try to sell things online and see the response. And I'm sure, especially now, dahil hindi pa tayo pwedeng we are practicing social distancing, this is more appropriate, no? Conversational commerce, just to double a bit on that, matagal na yan, pero mas na-emphasize siya ngayon. It started with chatbots, and if you look at it, there are certain restaurants or brands in Facebook Messenger, like example, Red Ribbon and soon to be the Jollibee and Chowking. You can order through Facebook Messenger and chat with them through chatbots. But there's another version of that very prevalent now in Viber groups. No, I'm sure you're seeing it. I myself have around 10 Viber groups in my phone, and these are people selling food, frozen or cooked, or anywhere in between those. And you chat directly with the restaurateur or the owner, and you get to transact with them and converse through that social platform. Okay, and number three is hyper local. This is also something that we just saw very recently because of the confines of ECQ. Hindi ka na basta-basta makakatawid from Makati to Parañaque, Parañaque to Quezon City, or Makati to Pasay. Kasi syempre may mga checkpoints and may mga requirements. So what we're seeing now is nagsulputan na yung localized e-commerce. No, there's a Taguig group. When you look at Viber, you look at Facebook. There's even a Parañaque group. I was talking to a CFO of a quick service restaurant the other day. They're doing an Alabang group. Even sa aming village, dito sa Better Living, there is a Better Living food hall group. So it allows for servicing and delivery within the confines of your village or in your city. Because again, there are restraints or there are constraints in moving about. No? Number four, and also very important, going contactless is safe and secure. Okay, before we were echoing or we were emphasizing of security. Again, we are a BSP supervised entity. Our solutions are rigid with a lot of these security provisions. But now more than ever, because of COVID, safety is a primary concern. Like what Chris was saying, it may take some time before people get the confidence to go out and dine in the restaurant. There will be opportunities for you to now revisit the pickup or the pickup of order or the delivery of your food or your orders. No, safety, digital solutions will now allow you to make contactless, cashless, and secure payments in the confines perhaps of your home or anywhere or at any time. No? So hindi ka na limited sa pag-use ng notes or ng bills kasi there are a lot of studies, and I'll show you later, na some of the virus can be transmitted through the passing off of the bills and the coins. Okay, so it's safe and secure. And number five, accept all forms of payments. Ito ina-advise namin, no. Wag tayong mapirmi lang sa pagtanggap ng cash. Maganda 'yan, no. Cash is king sa panahon na 'to, pero darating na tayo sa punto na magtitip na 'yan, no. At dumadami na yung digital payments. Tumatanggap kayo ng bank deposit, tumatanggap kayo ng cheque. That's fine. Pero kailangan yung pag-isipan at bigyan ng tamang atensyon na tumingin na kayo sa mga apparent technology ngayon, no. Pagbayad using e-wallets and pagbayad using QR code, pagbayad using credit card and debit cards. All those solutions are present. Kailangan nyo lang siguro ipagtanong or mag-research, i-google nyo, or later on, I'll show you, I'll share with you our email address, and then you can drop us an email and then we can talk about your requirements also. These are just some examples here, no, that we've seen happen very recently, and a lot of people are pivoting or shifting from the traditional in-store servicing and now moving on to some e-commerce play. Very prominent here are, let's say, Potato Corner partnering with Angkas. Now you can order their delicious French fries and have the Angkas rider send it to you very quickly, so that it gets to you still crispy and hot. No? And others have adopted the same. And as you can see here, you have to look into upgrading or complementing your business model. O wag na tayong mapirmi lang dun sa, again, yung tindahan lang or yung restaurant lang. Tingnan nyo kung paano kayo makapag-enhance ng inyong negosyo through online. Kasi matagal pa, medyo challenge pa tayo sa panahon na ito. So kailangan mag-adapt tayo. Another item here naman po ay itong uh, pagdami ng e-commerce at mabilis ang pagsulpot nito, no, ng e-commerce play. Meron kayong makikitang mga Facebook groups na lumalawig ngayon at nagbebenta ng mga pagkain, mga delicacies from different parts of the country. And over on the other side, Viber groups tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, ang dami na lumalabas ngayon. Every day, ang menu na update, ang pricing sinasabi. And it's good to see that some people there include their payment options. Nandun yung traditional COD or cash on delivery, merong bank deposit, at of course, meron din dun yung pay with PayMaya, or of course, pay with GCash, no? At this point in time, it doesn't matter kung GCash ka, Coins ka, or PayMaya. Ang importante, may options kang binibigay sa iyong mga customers. In the end, ang customer yung matutuwa dahil marami siyang pagpipilian kung paano magbayad sa inyo. And ang kapalit niyan, mas maganda rin para sa inyo dahil dumadami ulit ang negosyo. Sabi nga ni Chris kanina, at the very least man lang, maka-break even tayo sa mga darating na buwan, di ba? So consider niyo yan, no? That e-commerce, conversational commerce is really increasing these days. And huwag tayo magpapahuli. Again, mag-research kayo, pag-aralan nyo, ipagtanong nyo. Huwag kayong matakot sumubok. This one, yung kinikwento ko kaninang hyper-local communities or e-communities na dahil nga sa constraints na hindi ka basta-basta makabiyahe cross-city, marami ngayong naglabasan na within the city lang the services. Tulad nitong sa Mandaluyong emergency group nila, merong Taguig Online, merong Pasig Online. Sabi ko nga kanina, even sa Better Living, meron kaming sariling Better Living food group, no? Exclusive lang to the village. And a lot of this are popping out, no? And consider nyo, again, walang mawawala, sumubok lang kayo, ipagtanong nyo, i-research nyo. Huwag kayong mahihiya na pag-aralan, no? Kasi yun nga, doon kayo mahihirapan yan pag hindi nyo gagawin. Here is a slide that I was referring to earlier, na cash handling can be a cause of the spread of the virus. And we have seen, and I've shared some of the studies here, na marami na studies na nagpapakita na the virus stays in the bill or in the note, and once an infected person handles it and passes it off to somebody else, then it gets transmitted. Especially, you hold the bill. Later on, yung aming mga solusyon, papakita ko sa inyo, meron talaga doon contactless. No, hindi mo na kailangan hawakan yung pera kasi digital siya. No? So please consider that. No? It is the safe form of payment. The digital technologies will provide you safe and secure ways of accepting payment. Now, in this grid, what you're seeing on the top left, which is our post terminal. This is one of the banner products that we're very proud of. This is an Android device. It's a point of sale device. It looks different from your conventional black terminals that you see in the mall. It's sleek. It's portable. It's powered by GSM. We even provide the proper SIM cards for it. May it be a globe signal that you require or a smart signal that you require. This device has a dip, tap, and swipe functionality. So the restaurant, when somebody picks up an order, can just bring the device to the customer, and the customer having his credit card does not have to hold the terminal. Just dips or taps the terminal for the transaction to push through. Across that is also a favorite and popular solution that you probably would see a lot in the malls and probably in Mercury Drug. That is our QR code, no? The quick response code. This one is also contactless. So all you have to do as a merchant, mag-apply nito. In fact, ito, share ko sa inyo, pwede na kayong mag-download ng aming PayMaya Negosyo app, no, sa Google Store, and then it comes with your own QR code. So with your QR code, the PayMaya account holder, the PayMaya customer just scans to pay, and then yun na, nalilipat na yung bayad. Wala nang kailangang hawakan pa. And madali pa kasi may running ledger yung app nyo, so nakikita nyo yung mga transaction nyo. Madali nyo siyang i-reconcile sa pag-bookkeeping nyo. Now, going down on the left side again is also another popular solution, the online checkout. 10 years ago, for a restaurant probably to have a credit card terminal, the bank would be, interrogating and asking a lot of questions. Ano bang volume, ano bang credit card transactions, and will ask also probably a dozen documents before you are able to get it. In PayMaya, over the last 2-3 months, we've simplified our processes and tried to make it faster. And we are now, perhaps a casual seller, a micro seller, or a small enterprise can now even easily avail of our checkout solution and allow that seller or enterprise to accept credit or debit card payments. No? So mas accessible siya ngayon. And of course, on the opposite of that, on the lower right, is a basic feature of our PayMaya wallet, I mean e-wallet. It's the send and receive money feature or peer-to-peer function, wherein if you are a PayMaya wallet holder and you know of somebody else and you want to transact with him, it's as simple as sending or receiving money, and the money is passed on real time. No? So somebody that you want to send money to in Cebu, you can just send that to the PayMaya account instantaneously, or somebody from Cebu wants to send somebody to some money to a relative or a friend in Bicol. It's all real time. And we've also tried this for a PayMaya account holder who probably is in Hong Kong or is in Singapore and he has access to internet. You can send money to that person, even abroad, as long as he has a locally issued mobile number and it's registered with his PayMaya account. So a lot of important solutions, not only this, but these are the ones that I'm highlighting because it's really more apparent these days. No? So those are important solutions that you can consider for your business. Okay, so I'll now just quickly go into this. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na email invoicing. Picture a scenario na you have an order, you take an order, and you now elaborate on that order in details in an invoicing or a payment link platform. Lalagay mo yung pangalan, lalagay mo yung details ng order or yung pagkain na in order, you input the quantity, and then you input the amount. Later on, I'll show a video to describe this. And simply complete that statement of account, and then the platform allows you to email it to the intended recipient. The platform will also allow you to just copy the link and send it via Viber, FB Messenger, or even SMS. So, pwede nang makatanggap ng link yung inyong customer, and pag kinlik nila yung link, they will be routed to the landing page of PayMaya at makikita nila doon yung summary ng kanilang statement of account. And then pag gusto na nilang bayaran, they have 3 options. Pwede nilang ipasok yung kanilang card number para kang nag-online purchase lang. Papasok mo na yung credit card details mo and then click pay. Or kung gusto mong pay, if you're an existing PayMaya account holder, you have an option to just pay with PayMaya and click the button and then just enter your PayMaya mobile number. And the third option is if you want to pay via QR, click mo yung button ng QR and it will generate a QR on the screen, and then you can now scan it and pay directly from your PayMaya e-wallet. So there are a lot of innovations that we're sharing. And again, sabi ko kanina, huwag kayong matatakot. Nakakailang lang siguro tingnan, pero pag pinag-aralan at pinag-usapan na yan at ni-research nyo na yan, ma-appreciate nyo na, hindi naman pala ganun kahirap. Okay, so I was saying earlier that I'll show a video. Jet, if you can play this please, para they can see. Jet. Anyway, I'll just skip this anyway. I spoke about it. So the QR, as I mentioned earlier, is a very simple, easy to use solution. Scan to pay siya. So the merchant generates. We give you that QR solution. You have your own QR code. Recently, we modified this. We're now giving your digital QR so that you can print it, you can post it, and you can pass it to your customers and suki. Yung mga suki nyo, and pwede silang magbayad through a scan to pay me. Contactless yan. Wala nang handling of cash or pasahan ng sukli. So it's seamless already. And then, wait, let me just skip this. Ayan, yung sabi ko kanina na P2P or peer-to-peer payment is a feature in your PayMaya e-wallet. You can go to the App Store or the Play Store, download PayMaya and register, and then you can now load money or add money into that, and then now you have a functional wallet. So pwede na kayong gumamit mag-transact mag-bills pay para bayaran yung inyong utilities or bumili ng e-load ng mas mura at again, scan payments through the QR code facility. Okay. So, itong plugin naman, popular also for restaurateurs who are affiliated probably or want to, yung gustong gumawa ng mga online shops. You can be affiliated with Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce, and we'll complement that with a very easy to use, easy to set up credentials for your checkout plugin. And once you have it, you'll now be in your site or your e-commerce store, you'll now be able to accept credit cards and debit card payments also. And yan, yung nabanggit ko kanina, yung aming PayMaya One, the be-all solution for our merchants na tumatanggap ng credit card, debit card, pwedeng WeChat or WeChat Pay, at pwede rin tumanggap ng QR code payments. Ito yung ating affiliations ng mga payment providers, no? So this is again some of the solutions that we've shared, and these are some of examples of our partners who have leverage on the technology, allowing them to accept credit card payments. Even let's say Red Ribbon, when you go to FB Messenger, you can pay using your credit card. If you visit and go to Mary Grace, you can pay using their QR code. So those are things that you can consider na sana na pag-aralan nyo at huwag kayong matakot subukan. So ito lang yung aking tatlong takeaways, no? Importanteng komplementuhan nyo yung inyong existing business. Subukan nyo, pag-aralan nyo kung paano kayo mag-online. Kahit maliliit lang muna, basta makapag-umpisa. Pangalawa, tayong mga restaurants at yung mga merchants, pag-aralan nyo maigi, consider nyo na tumanggap ng ibang pamamaraan ng pagbayad or different forms of payment other than cash or bank deposits. At yung mga payment technology na kayang tumanggap ng bayad kahit saan ka at kahit kailan. So mas flexible yan at mas matutuwa yung karamihan, lalo na yung mga millennials, no? And of course, the third item here is secure and safe payments are powered by digital payment solutions para ma-minimize na natin yung handling ng cash. Okay? So with that, I'd like to end my presentation with this. No, we just recently launched our PayMaya Negosyo app in Google Store at this point in time. Download it. The first feature that you'll get here is you're able to generate your own QR code na pwede nyo lang gamitin sa inyong mga negosyo. So yung mga PayMaya customers nyo, pwede na silang magbayad ng scan to pay lang, contactless. Wala nang paghahawakang pera, diretso from their e-wallet to your e-wallet. And then once you have the money in your e-wallet, you just simply transfer that money to your bank account para dun yung makita yung savings or dun yung makita yung puhunan, and then you can withdraw from there. Okay, so that's essentially me. And if you have any questions about the solutions I've shared, please do email us at signup.enterprise@paymaya.com. And don't forget to visit in Google Play the PayMaya Negosyo app. Okay, sana may napulot po kayong aral sa aking mga binahaging mga technology, no, for the payments ngayong hapon na ito. Maraming salamat. Tony, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Paul. Thank you so much for sharing a lot of insights for our restaurant owners. Thank you for sharing the PayMaya Negosyo payment solution. And I'd like to shout out yung ating mga kasama ngayon. I'd like to give a shout out from Tarlac Province, si Mary Grace Sudara Cariaga. And we have a lot of questions, Sir Paul. So we'll see Sir Paul and Sir Chris later sa Q&A natin. So babasahin natin. We will do our best to read all your comments and your questions. And we'll now go on with our third speaker and last speaker for the day. Last but not the least, our final speaker will discuss the ins and outs of delivery. He is best described as a staunch advocate of inclusive mobility and sustainable transport, a champion of local brands, and an award-winning visual storyteller. He is currently the chief transport advocate of Angkas, the country's #1 app-based motorcycle ride-hailing service. He is also the founder of G5, an award-winning content company that has garnered local and international awards, such as the SOPA, Boomerang, Anvils, and the Asian Digital Video Awards, American Business Awards, to name a few. A passionate advocate and innovative entrepreneur, he has always been at the forefront of movements that fight for the rights of millions of motorcycle riders in the Philippines, staging several successful unity rides across the country. Please welcome Mr. George Royeca. Hi, Sir George.
Hi ma'am. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for having me here in Zomato Quarantine.
Good afternoon.
Good
Welcome. And
afternoon.
this is our third episode, and hopefully will not be the last. Sana magkaroon pa ulit from Zomato. And take it away, Sir George. We know that you only have a few minutes to present, but we'll see you again in the Q&A.
Yes, thank you very much. Hey guys, I think the previous two speakers really hit it out of the park in terms of the current situation right now and the technologies that can be provided to empower a lot of these restaurants that are really struggling in this COVID situation. I mean, Chris, great overview of the restaurant industry in this time of crisis. I myself am a huge fan of Zomato Gold, and my wife and I were crazy users of it all the time before the quarantine. Paul, I think PayMaya is a lifesaver. It allows us to keep the lights on, with cashless payments. This is the critical pillar now, as everyone can imagine. With Angkas, though, just a little bit of history for those people that don't know. Angkas has been there for about 3 years. We've built a sizable fleet of about 30,000 biker partners and primarily focused on transportation. And in this time of COVID crisis, 99% of our business just disappeared overnight. Though Angkas is not a stranger to shutdowns. We've been shut down many times by the government, and now, unfortunately, it's an act of God. But that has really kind of ingrained the entrepreneurial spirit in the people that are working in Angkas. And what we needed to do was really pivot quickly, very, very quickly, to something that wasn't our core. We needed to act fast. And I know many of you restaurants are experienced in dine-in. Many of you are experienced in how to bring in customers and create that experience inside your establishment. And now it has to be delivery based. It's a combination of ready-to-eat food or potentially food products. We've seen this in many other companies, like, for example, Potato Corner. Now they're selling the actual frozen food, and a lot more other companies out there. So this is something that you guys need to rethink. But what was really, really, I guess, effective for us was to not overthink it, like what Paul was saying. You got to just jump and do it. I mean, for us, we are a tech platform, but we went from full tech to manual, really the opposite of the path, right? Just so that we can continue supporting the community. But what we did was we were open to the consumers, and we were honest to them. We sent out collaterals and told them, we're going into the food business. We're going to try and deliver your food. This is not our core business. We don't know what to expect. We apologize in advance for the issues that may arise from this, because there's the lack of equities. There are other better players out there that are doing such a wonderful job over the last couple of years. And this is something that I really wanted to do for the community. And that transparency was super well received. So for all of you restaurants out there that are, really worried about this whole situation, and that you don't know how the customers will react towards this new service that you guys are providing, realize, that they're also in the same boat, right? Realize that whatever you're experiencing, they're experiencing also, whether it's their employment, their own business, or whatnot. So everybody is kind of groping in the dark out here, right? But one thing that you need to be reminded of is we are back to basics, right? You have to focus on the fundamentals. So be honest to them, and don't worry about the frills, right? Just give good food, find a way to get it delivered, find a way to pay for it cashless. We have the technologies here, and be able to provide that experience in their homes, right? What I always tell people in all of my talks, all of my entrepreneurial talks, all of our webinars, is that you need to have a 1-year outlook for COVID, unfortunately, right? Will your business survive 1 year? And what can you do to take the necessary steps and actions to make sure that you have that 1-year horizon of marathon for survival, right? We only beat the virus. And I say this over and over again, and I just want people to realize this, or be reminded of this over and over again. We only beat the virus when you kill it with a vaccine, right? And nothing short of that. And a vaccine right now, if everything goes perfect, is maybe 18 months from now, right? Or if it's really a miracle, we get it in 6 months. But it's not going to happen when we lift the quarantine in the next 2 weeks, right? So what happens then? What can we do then? We cannot have no economic activity until vaccine, until years from now. We need to coexist with the virus, and we need to live with the virus. And that can be done, right? We can actually live with the virus. We've seen it happen in many other countries that's been able to contain the spread, the community spread. How do we do this? The government is very aligned with a lot of the different governments all over the world. Test. That's the only way to get visibility. I'm part of a initiative called Project ARC, which focuses on getting a lot of these companies, the private sector, to commit to mass testing or mass screening their employees using rapid antibody tests. And this is a 15-minute test that you can do and be able to ensure your customers that you are taking the necessary steps and measures to really stop the community spread of COVID within your establishment. So we're doing both LGUs, barangay, as well as the private sector. And restaurants is going to be a very, very important part of this. Even though you're not providing dine-in experience, even the food preparation, your cooks, your dishwashers, right? It would push a lot of consumer confidence if they know that you're taking the necessary disinfection measures, necessary screening steps to be able to ensure that your product and services are COVID-free, right? Or safe at the very least. You're mitigating that, right? So that being said, as so far today, delivery services will remain very, very important and very, very crucial to this endeavor. And this is something that we've realized very, very early on. And we've taken the necessary steps to be able to make sure that we can support the community with this endeavor. Just can you put up the slides? So basically in Angkas, like I said, we've done this very, I guess, what do I say? Quickly, the pivot was very quick. We checked out what the community needed and we tried to fill that gap very, very quickly. And maybe tech can follow later on, right? So with Restros, I don't know if you guys know, but we've actually launched our restaurant service. So we onboard restaurants into the platform. I think we have more than 100, more than 200 merchants now. I think there's a wait line. I think we've had very good response from the team. And essentially what we do is between being powered by Angkas, which is our secondment service, and then Angkas Restos, which is our food service, we actually get bikers and second them to your establishment. So they become your bikers, right? If you want more information on this, you can just go to our FB site and ask about it. But what we do is we empower every single establishment, whether you're a restaurant, a pharmacy, a grocery, a supermarket, even a mall at this point in time. And we put bikers there so that they can deliver your much needed goods to your consumers, right? And the thing here, what we did is we took out all of our commissions and we made sure that 100% of the proceeds go to the biker. And this is for us to be able to help the community. And really, that is something that we really wanted to do first and foremost. I mean, Angkas has always been there to solve problems. That's why Angkas was born, because we wanted to solve or provide solution for the traffic situation, at least, do our part. And right now with the COVID situation, it's really delivering the much needed food, essential items to, the people in their homes. And this is something that we've done very, very quickly. And I think, many, many merchants are currently enjoying this right now. So it's no frills, no fuss, nothing high tech about it. We put bikers into your service. We manage everything from, the dispatching, the insurance. We manage all of the bikers in the platform, and we dispatch to you on a daily basis, right? Also, we have the Angkas Padala service, which has always been our service of ours. And if you're able to, it's just very simply put, a delivery service wherein you deliver one piece of item from source to destination. And you can put in the notes basically if you have some special considerations. Some people are using this right now as a makeshift concierge or pabili system. We're trying, in the next couple of weeks, I'm working with a lot of different technology partners to make sure that we can do this on the tech platform very easily. But in the meantime, you have those comment section there that you can talk with a biker and buy stuff for you. That's something that's being done as best practice right now, not necessarily supported technically by our platform. And then, of course, our CSR, which is always very, very close to our hearts, is something that will never, ever leave, Angkas's main goal and objectives, right? So right now, anybody that wants to deliver food to frontliners, to starving communities or communities in general, including other stuff such as medicine. We've been working with different companies that provide the infant milk formula, the medicine for infants, HIV medicines, chronic medicines, maintenance meds, diabetes. And also food, not to workers, to frontliners. This is something that we do for free. So just give us a call. We'll pick it up for free and we'll send it to the destination. So I think just to wrap up, we are really all in this together. Although I cannot say that, we're all in the same boat. Everybody has their different experiences. Some people are more blessed with, resources. Other people are still having to struggle on a daily basis. But we are all in the same war. And the only way for us to move forward with this war is to work together, competition aside, differences aside, and really bring the community together. Hyper local is the best way to move forward with restaurants. That is, definitely something that you guys can really take advantage of. With Angkas, we dispatch bikers within that community so that we have less hassles in the checkpoints. So these are something that you guys need to take a look at, think about. It's not the end of the world. It's not a zero-sum game. It's not a matter of whether we beat the virus and restart the economy. We can restart the economy now. We can start moving forward today. But we got to do it with the safety and health consciousness mindset in place. We need to be able to make sure that we always provide a safe environment for our consumers, and not just our consumers, to our workers as well, right? They never signed up for going to work every day with the possibility of contracting a virus that could be deadly, right? So we need to be cognizant of that as well. And as we do this with people, with our employees, and also people that work from home, have that always online mentality, we need to be able to take a hard look in ourselves and see if this is something that we are willing to do, that we want to do. And if you do, there are technologies out there. Chris has told you about the overview of the entire restaurant industry amidst the COVID situation. PayMaya is there for your contact cashless payment options, and of course Angkas and other providers also, like Lalamove and GrabFood, are there to provide that delivery and fulfillment services to complete your dine-in experience, to complete your restaurant or your food experience for your customers. So guys, that's all I have for now, and hopefully you guys keep on staying safe. Change the mindset of waiting until this thing is lifted. Don't wait. Do something now. You can do it. Have a 1-year outlook and prepare yourselves for 1 year of ramp up of consumer confidence. Because even after the lockdown is lifted, even after the government says all of you guys get out of your houses, go to work, go to the malls, there's still going to be consumer confidence is going to be very low. And a lot of people are still going to be scared to go out. So you need to put that in your calculations when you're looking at your business outlook. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much, George. That was very insightful.
Thank
Tony,
you.
So much, Sir.
yeah, Tony, we have a lot of questions, but before we do that, let's call all our speakers. Let's call back Sir Chris Evans from Zomato, Sir Paul from Angkas,
Sir Paul from PayMaya, of course, Sir George from
PayMaya. Yes. All right. So we have a lot of questions. So before we do that, we'd like to acknowledge, I wrote down some of the restaurants who with us from day 1 to day 3. Would like to say hi to Cowboy Grill team. Hi, thanks for watching. The Dirty Coffee Tagaytay, Central Barbecue, Boy Grill, Tides Grill and Bistro, and Rico's Lechon. Yum! K-pop barbecue at Ogawa, and a lot more. So Tony, please start the question, reading the
All
question
right.
from our viewers.
So my first question is actually, handa na ba silang tatlo? Are you all ready for the questions? Because we have a lot talaga. That
As
we have to
ready as
ask.
can be.
Okay,
Ready
good.
as can be. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's start with Sir Chris from Zomato. I have one here for you. This is from Jay from Rico's Lechon, K-pop Barbecue. Chris, we would be interested in your below cost delivery boxes. Who do we contact for that one?
Oh, uh, he can contact me, Jay. Contact me, and I can direct you in the right direction. So, if that's a Facebook comment, we'll get the Philippines team to reach out to you as well.
Right, so help is definitely here, Jay. And also another one for Sir Chris from Melandro Cervantes. What are the 3 options for table reservation mentioned by Chris earlier in the last part of the presentation?
Got it. So we have 3 table reservations options. One is a manual process whereby you would receive the reservation via a phone call or SMS, where you then manually have to accept it. That's called Book One. We have an auto confirmation system called Book Lite, which the reservations come through an app, and you just set up your profile in relation to how many tables and how many covers you're happy to accept at a particular time slot. And then we have a full stack version called Book Pro, which is a full table management system, which would be more for formal restaurants, which would have auto allocations and that sort of stuff. So any restaurant that's looking to take online reservations, best again to talk to a Zomato representative, and they can direct you to the best option that fits your business. The best thing being that it gives you a booking widget on your Zomato listing, which you can also put on your website and Facebook page.
Thank you,
So,
Chris.
Ms. Mais,
Yeah, we have for PayMaya, Sir Paul from Jessica Santiago. How does PayMaya handle online scams or theft?
Okay, these threats are apparent, though not as big and not as much. There's two-prong. These are the ones that are really scammed and really studied. But a big portion of what we're seeing also is because of sometimes the negligence or the lack of education of the user. Simple as sharing your PIN or clicking a phishing email that leads to the identity theft. So there are processes, there are controls. In PayMaya, our solutions have controls. Some of them probably just not to be too technical to mention. We have 3DS, and we are PCI DSS certified, and all our solutions before it goes public or go to market, these are all scrutinized by the regulators. No, so those are just some that I could say, because the others it will just bore you, and of course these are internal matters that we can't really disclose. But there are a lot of care, there are a lot of provisions that we put into our solutions to make it safe and secure. And on the flip side of that, we also ask people to be wary and careful of not just disclosing their pins, not just answering unknown emails and the likes, to observe certain protocol measures also. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Paul. I have another question here for Sir George of Angkas. This is from Jogular05. How often is the testing being done for your riders? Actually, I want to know that also. Since each delivery run is a potential instance of infection, is there transparency in your system regarding this?
So right now we're setting up we haven't done any testing yet. So all of the companies right now that we've put together are finalizing all of the different protocols to be able to get this done. But we are committed to be able to move forward to this type of regular mass screening when we're able to move forward to the GCQ progression. Now, I think what's important here is the safety guidelines that needs to be in place, no, for the delivery. So a lot of our deliveries are contactless, right? So there are certain guidelines and protocols that's followed by the bikers to make sure that there's a least amount of contact in terms of delivering the goods and items to the consumer. So hopefully that mitigates further the spread of the virus.
Thank you, George. There's also a follow-up question dito. How can small resto like us partner with Angkas? Will there be perks getting Angkas as exclusive delivery service for our resto? Or
Yes,
will it be...
definitely.
Okay,
Go ahead.
all right.
Yeah, there are
So,
definitely fees. 100% of the fees go to the bikers. We've taken out our commissions for now. You can just go to the Facebook site to be able to inquire there. We have two types of services actually, which is Angkas Food, that has some sort of minimum guarantee for deliveries. So if you have a lot of deliveries, then actually that's paid for by the consumer. And we have a secondment program that you pay for yourself, and it's up to you whether you want to do a delivery fee to the consumer and pass that on or not. That ensures that drivers are with you, and we can scale up and scale down. I don't have the hotline number, but I think my head of onboarding is going to kill me. I'm going to give her email. She heads all the onboarding. Her name is Arlette. So Arlette at angkas.com. So message her, go crazy, and don't tell her that I gave you the email. Thanks.
so watch out, Arlette.
Naging
You will
busy ka
serve
ngayong
a lot.
araw na ito. Alright, so we have one viewer. She has a comment for Angkas from Lorna Torres Toriano. Or rather, to PayMaya rather. Ginamit din po namin ng pag-renew ng license, ng PRC license ang PayMaya. So, good job, PayMaya. And we do have also a question here from Jessica Santiago, again to PayMaya. Do we still need to submit documents to join PayMaya for merchants like in 2017 or 2018?
To become a merchant with PayMaya, there are two ways to do it. There's a simplified way, fast way, very minimal documents. And there's also another way for more complex solutions. It will just require probably additional 2-3 more documents. We can discuss, and they can email us at inquiry at paymaya.com.
Okay, so just go to the website. Now, another one for Sir Paul from Lenny of Scorched Smokehouse. With regards to PayMaya Negosyo, may we know, is there any fee that is charged per transaction?
Okay, PayMaya Negosyo just came out this week. It's a new app. You can download it via the Google Play Store. What it comes with for now is the functionality of being able to generate your own QR code, and of course the receiving of money. For now, the movement of funds is free, so there's no charge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I hope you was able to answer your question, Lenny. But another question din po from Scorched Smokehouse. Ito din na natin yung question nila, sir. Sabi ni sorry, where ito? Ayan. How do we avail of the digital invoice or facility of PayMaya? Is this a separate thing that we need to download?
Okay, the PayMaya's email invoice is not a downloadable app. It is a solution through our portal. So again, all they have to do is email us at inquiry@paymaya.com, and then we can discuss, and then we can provide the necessary details for them to be able to get that particular payment solution.
Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Mais, any other questions?
Yeah, I have one more for Zomato from Franco Tria. Thank you so much. I was wondering if you guys could add more table reservations for restaurants in Metro Manila.
Yes, we can. I think that's what we discussed earlier, where any restaurant looking to come on to table reservations can do so. So it's actually a free service. There's no cost involved with the table reservations. So again, a Zomato representative can get you set up and offer you the best alternative between those three alternatives I mentioned earlier.
All right, thank you, Chris. Now we have one here for Sir George of Angkas. This is a very interesting suggestion from Jam Blauta. How about Angkas plus run errands, parang Angkas assistant?
Yes, actually, right now for Angkas Padala, they're doing that on the comment section, right? So they're doing it just really informally, but definitely stay tuned for the next couple of weeks. We will be launching a service that will allow you to be able to, ask the biker to do stuff for you, buy in this restaurant, go to the supermarket, go do stuff like that. So we're just finalizing the feature sets, and hopefully we can launch that anytime soon. I'm actually not supposed to say that. This is what happens when my team isn't here and I'm working from home. So, but then stay tuned for it. It'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
First,
Okay,
you gave
another
away the email of Arlette and you revealed a secret.
I'm a loose
I have,
cannon.
I have one more here for Sir George. This question is from Valerie Angeli. She has been watching us since Monday pa. We seriously need angkas or delivery services in the provinces. Bulacan, to be particular. Are you open and expanding here? Would love to collaborate, same with also increasing the awareness here with payments, coming from someone who wants to help out, support, and keep safety for my town and towns nearby. So
Yes.
expansion po within
Yes,
provinces.
definitely. We are expanding to the provinces. We're actually a lot of our bikers are already in the Calabarzon region already. So Cavite, Bulacan, Laguna, Rizal. So we will be doing hyper-local initiatives there in which a lot of the service will be set up within those areas because of obviously the different checkpoints going into Metro Manila. Yeah.
Nako, mukhang magiging busy ang mga riders ng angkas for sure
Yes.
in the next
yes.
coming year.
All right. I'd like also to thank Angkas because Angkas has been our co-presenter from our tech conference, Tectonic Summit last year. Thank you very much, Angkas.
You're welcome.
We had
You're welcome.
we had Miss Angeline Tam as one of our speakers from Tectonic Summit.
That's my wife. Yeah.
Oh
She's
yes, George.
She's a lot smarter. She's-
Okay.
I will invite her soon to our webinar, Miss Angeline. So
that would be wise. That would be wise.
I'm gonna also ask permission from you now, live.
Wow.
Go for it.
Nire-record na natin to. Okay. Chris, I have one here from Kyra, who are the payment partners for the Zomato contactless dining solution.
Still in the works, actually. So we currently use Paynamics payment gateway through BDO. So, but being that contactless dining is a new product, we're just negotiating with other payment gateways to get the best possible payment gateway fees, because that's ultimately going to be the cost to our merchant partners. So, that's still in the works.
Yes. Okay. So I think we also have one more here, Sir Chris, from Erica Tatko. How does the contactless order information move from the Zomato app to the kitchen or back of house?
Okay, so I guess it will work in a similar sense to how I guess the delivery model works now. So there'll be a partner app which can be downloaded onto smartphone, as well as the restaurant access in the dashboard. So it'll then be ultimately up to the restaurant how they want to facilitate it. I know some restaurants have, a computer screen in the kitchen nowadays, or they'll just talk or call the dockets out via the partner app. Or some restaurants may choose to take it from the dashboard and input it through their own POS system. So it'll be I guess unique to the individual venue how they want to work that.
I have another follow-up question for Chris. This is from Jan Blauta. Contactless dining experience. As a training manager, we also need to innovate regarding contactless service standards. When will this be launched?
As soon as possible. It's literally being kind of built at the moment. The base model is, ready to go, but being such a key part of a restaurant operation, there's so many more, add-ons and facilities that a product like this needs for it to be scaled up, I guess, to how this needs to be scaled up because of what we're currently experiencing. So a rough estimate at the moment is like a mid-June to end of June launch. So I guess the beauty of that is that I don't think, of course, I'm not the expert. I don't work on the government. I don't have the president's ear, so I have no idea when dining out will be allowed again, I guess, in Metro Manila. But I think in all kind of educated guesses are that it certainly won't be by mid-June. So I've had this conversation with many restaurateurs, and again, I don't want to harp on it because it sounds, I'm being too Australian, but because I am Australian and have a lot of contacts, a lot of restaurateurs are asking me what's happening in Australia right now. And literally today, they announced the relaxation of their lockdowns, and they're doing it in basically a 3-stage process. So in the first stage, which they're in at the moment, dine out is still not allowed. They're expecting the second stage to be early June, providing there's no increase in COVID cases, which would still cause most restaurants to be closed, depending on square meterage and things like that. So really, the full-blown opening, and that would still be at a maximum of 50% occupancy, isn't going to be until July. So I think based on that and based on how, I guess, dense the population here is in the Philippines, I would assume, or my educated guess will be it'll be at least July before we're expecting that to happen. So the launch of contactless dining, therefore, will hopefully be perfect timing.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Chris. And in relation to that question, once it is launched, a question from Micaela Paula Lopez: will all the restaurants have contactless dining?
They, of course, will have to opt in, but we hope as many restaurants as possible can, for sure, based on, again, customer surveys and that sort of stuff about health and safety and reduced contact being of paramount importance. I think the majority of restaurants would probably want to come on board a platform like this, just particularly with no upfront costs. I think it's an attractive proposition, and our aim is to get absolutely the majority of restaurants when they are open for dine out to be on contactless, and hopefully that's with Zomato for sure.
Okay, thanks, Chris. We have Brothers Burger. Since day one, nakikinig na to si Martin Jose. We're still waiting for our burgers. This goes to George of Angkas from Brothers Burger, Martin Jose. They have outlets along the SLEX. Can you service them?
Unfortunately, right now, SLEX requires you a 400cc motorbike to be able to get on the expressway. So that's sub 400 are not allowed. So we were not able to, get our motorcycles on the expressway at this time. So who knows? Maybe later on we'll have BMWs and Ducatis delivering.
I was about to say that, Sir George. Yeah. May mga Ducati na tayong Angkas.
But I could see a lot of Angkas riders here in Pasig City. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, so we have also another question for Sir Paul of PayMaya. How long do bank transfers from PayMaya take? A question from Popoy of Cafe Esquinita, storyteller in Bukidnon.
Okay, Popoy, salamat sa tanong mo. Funds transfers or bank transfers in or out of PayMaya wallet is driven by InstaPay and PesoNet. Now, for InstaPay, it's real time, but it's capped at 50,000. And PesoNet is of a bigger limit, but there is a processing time. You may check with your respective bank for the turnaround, but there are cut-offs that you have to consider also. Thank you.
Well said, Sir Paul. We have another one. What is essentially the USP of contactless dining with Zomato versus doing our own safety guidelines and social distancing? That goes to Chris Evans.
I guess I look at those things being, I guess, separate pieces. So contactless works in conjunction with a restaurant's own safety guidelines and social distancing. I guess what Zomato can provide is I guess the technology as well as the user base. So of course, pre-lockdown we had 1.6 million users on the Zomato platform, unique each month, and 24,000 restaurants listed. So we of course don't know what that looks like on the other side, but having the platform all ready to go can actually be a nice affiliate platform for a restaurant business, whilst also instigating their own safety guidelines and protocols for sure.
Do we have more, Tony?
Yeah, we have one more question. Just waiting for it to be uploaded here. So sabi sa inyo mga sirs, we have a lot of questions. And
I'll
I
ask
think
the
our-
final question later because George has mentioned the 1 year outlook.
Yeah.
Especially for events, no, Tony, like us, we don't have
Yes,
any
yes.
mass gatherings or events, so we have to pivot online. So I'd like to ask all of the speakers later, what would be your 1 year outlook?
So,
All right.
I
Okay,
think, ayan
so
na, ito na yung question for Mr. Chris
ayan.
Evans. Is there a cost for sign-ups?
I guess I expected that one to come eventually. So there's no sign up cost. Along with like George said, we won't be charging commissions for at least the first 6 months. We know, like everyone, we're a business, so at some stage there will be a commission element, but at least for the first 6 months, it's commission free. It'll just be whatever the payment gateway fee is that a restaurant will have to pay. So this is something that we're doing, ultimately, again, to help the restaurant get back on its feet. We see that it's going to be a consumer demand, therefore it's a restaurant demand, and being that they're, our bread and butter as far as a platform is concerned, it makes sense to drive this as a focus for us.
Thank you, Chris.
Pleasure.
Okay, our final question. So one by one, we're going to ask our speakers, what would be your 1 year outlook in the restaurant industry? Let's start with George.
Well, for us, it's really, we have a very big community. How do we support that community? We have about 30,000 bikers that need to feed their families, and we need to make sure that we're able to make that happen one way or the other. Especially since transportation is a bit of an issue right now due to social distancing. We do recognize that. Delivery is definitely going to be a big pillar of this, I guess, COVID situation or crisis situation that we're in right now. So let's see how that works out. But the idea is to, still transport, through the use of motorcycles. We think that motorcycles is still going to be a big part of the economy. It's going to be a big part of the ecosystem, and we want to be able to, be relevant and make a good impact, a positive impact in that space.
Thank you, George. Let's hear from Sir Paul.
Yeah, the outlook, probably just to be on the safe side, these things may not reside overnight. We have to plan, as what the gentleman earlier mentioned. The outlook is extended. You have to plan properly. Now, more than ever, is the best time to consider, expanding your payment solutions. Don't be stuck with cash. And also looking at expanding your business model. Subukan nyo, no, na mag-digital, mag-e-commerce, mag-Viber groups, Facebook. Walang mawawala. Subukan nyo lang. No? Now is the best time. Pag-aralan nyo. All I can say is, pag-aralan nyo, ipagtanong nyo, and then subukan nyo. And then, if you read the payment solution support, PayMaya is here to support you. Again, from a casual seller to a corporate setup, even to a conglomerate, we have the solutions that could help. So, consider having that capability of accepting payments anytime, anywhere. Para at least madagdagan ang oportunidad na papasok sa negosyo nyo. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's from Sir Paul of PayMaya, and let's hear from Sir Chris.
So 1 year outlook, I guess it's probably just a summary of the last slide that I shared, I guess. Definitely food delivery will continue to be in huge demand. I think I wouldn't expect restaurants to be getting back to full occupancy within the year. So there'll be continued restrictions. Again, we don't know what that looks like, whether it's 25, 50% occupancy of what they're used to. And I think contactless dining will be the norm. I think contactless menus, contactless ordering, and contactless payments will be something that certainly in the short term will be critical. Consumers will then get used to it, and then that will allow for restaurants to continue to innovate around those technologies. So I'm actually, excited by seeing what the industry is like in a year's time through these sort of low touch, high tech stack type venues and things like that. I think it's. I heard somebody say the other day that the restaurant industry is in a sense broken, with very small margins, and it's a very tough business. So this is actually an opportunity for the industry to reset and rewrite the business model, so to speak. So I think technology is a key player in that. So yeah, super excited to see where we are in a year's time.
Thank you, Chris.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Ah,
All right, and thank you also for
That was
those who
it.
asked their questions. That was a lot. So, Sir George and Sir Paul, just stay there because we have something for you, of course. To thank you for this time that you spent with us, and also we'd like to have a special shout out to the owners of Bar Pinchos Sushi Ninja. Maraming salamat po for tuning in. And guys, that's all for our open forum today. Now, before we officially end our quarantine series, we'll now have again Mr. Chris Evans of Zomato to present the certificate of appreciation to our speakers. Chris.
Thank you very much, and once again, thank you to everybody viewing. It's obviously because of you guys that we put this series of talks on. On behalf of Zomato, I'd like to thank Mr. Paul Betia and Mr. George Royeca for imparting valuable insights and inspiration on the topic of restaurant technology today, providing you some virtual certificates in lieu of physical ones today. We're very grateful again for our amazing moderators who've been with us over the last 3 sessions, Mai Sandico and Tony Bellaro, for joining us and sharing their talents with us once again today. And of course, our official e-learning partner, O'Learn, for making this event possible. The world we live in today is providing a world of firsts for all of us. So I can now put hosting or facilitating a webinar onto my CV, which I couldn't have said before this week. So that's exciting. Again, the road ahead is still somewhat uncertain, but I'd just like to say again, on behalf of Zomato, we're here as a partner to the restaurant industry. And if there's anything that we can do to help, we are here to do just that. So looking forward to speaking with you all in the coming weeks, months, and seeing where we end with that 1-year outlook in 12 months' time.
thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to cry.
Thank you,
This is the
Chris.
last episode.
It's our last day.
It's our
Thank
last
you
day.
once
I'm gonna
again
miss
to
this.
Sir George and Paul. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming
Thank you.
salamat.
See you
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Chris,
Bye.
George.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. And that
Wow.
is our restaurant technology post COVID-19 episode, Tony. It is jam-packed. I learned a lot.
Sobrang dami, di ba? And I think my major takeaway here out of those 3 days natin, Miss Mais, ito lang, simple. And I think you have read or watched this movie, Eat, Pray, Love. Yun lang naman yun eh. We pray,
Yeah.
we love, and of course, we eat. Zomato will take care of that for us. The restaurants will take care of that for us. And those 3 things, those are the 3 things that we need to survive, right? Eat, pray,
Okay.
and love.
Wow, I'm just gonna echo what you said. Dagdagan natin yan. Eat, pray, love, and laugh.
And
Don't
laugh, diba?
forget to
Para mabubuhay
laugh.
tayo.
Laugh. That what's going on right now is really stressful. A lot of people I heard are suffering from anxiety and depression. And you know naman
Mhm.
that restaurant is one of the hardest hits apart from events, hotel
Right.
industry, airlines. So
Lahat.
guys, laban lang, sabi nga ng ating mga speaker. Thank you to Zomato for organizing this kind of webinar, our
Mhm.
forum. From day one, from Amor Maklang to Brad Geisler. Thank you so much. Jason
Yes.
Cruz.
Mr.
And on May,
Rajan, of course,
Rajan Uttam
of
Jandani
Esquire.
was very,
Yes.
very cool and awesome in explaining how they can help in financing our restaurant owners. And of course, today, the technology for restaurant, we need payment solutions, but we have
Correct.
PayMaya, we have riders from Angkas, and we have Zomato app talaga
Yeah.
para to help us out find the restaurants that we really need during the time of COVID-19. So Tony,
Tama.
uh,
Ayan na. Okay, so Miss Mais, pasalamatan naman natin again ang ating mga official partners. So I think you have the list there of all our
uh,
official partners. Another
before
shout
I
out.
before I do that, there's a very nice shout out to Scorch Smokehouse,
Yes.
Zomato. Sabi niya, thank you so much for this series of valuable insights for your amazing speakers. Today's was the most relevant to all SMEs. We would like to move forward. Thank you, Scorch
Tama.
Smokehouse. Maraming salamat po. And congrats, Zomato. Great work as well. Tony and Mais. Wow. I enjoyed your hosting. That is from Gino Avena. Thank you,
Thank you,
Gino.
Gino. Salamat. Salamat. And of course,
So,
si Miss Gilaria Yudela, kasi tatlong araw ko na rin siyang nakikita na naka-tune in. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Stay safe ka din, Gilaria Yudela. Salamat po.
stay safe at nabanggit din ng ating mga speakers to all restaurant owners to always prioritize safety and of
Mhm.
course sanitation and hygiene, especially when delivering food to our consumers or to our customers. At sa lahat ng mga riders po, ingat-ingat po sa
Ingat.
pag-deliver.
Oo, tama. And
Nagpapasalamat po
also,
kami.
yeah, correct. And Miss Mais, for all those who pre-registered for this event, you will have an online kit to be sent
Yes.
to you, including the presentation of our speakers. Now, for those na hindi po nakapag-pre-register, you can still view the video after we have aired this live.
Or we can have a host. We can host a watch party, right?
A watch party, yes, yes. So yung mga nakapag-pre-register, you have the online kit.
Okay, Tony, what an amazing panel and such a great discussion from May 4, May 6, and May 8. And before we close, we'd
Yes.
like to say advance Happy Mother's Day to all the
Happy
moms out
Mother's Day!
there.
So yeah, it's
Happy
nice.
Mo-
Happy Mother's Day!
Yes, Happy Mother's Day to me. And folks, that is hashtag quarantine supporting the food industry in the time of crisis. We hope you had a lot of takeaway and learnings from this 3-day webinar. Once again, we would like to thank our official partners, eLearning, OLearn, Geyser Maklang, ADA Analytics Data Advertising, Esquire Financing, Fueling Dreams, PayMaya, Angkas, PMCM Events Management, and of course, my amazing co-host, the total host, Tony Belaro, and all our viewers via Olearn and Zomato Facebook for joining us today. Mamimiss po namin kayo. But who knows? We can have
Yes.
another
Malay
Zomato webinar. Okay?
Correct. Exactly. And do not forget to follow Zomato Philippines on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on our future events. Malay nyo, makita nyo ulit kami ni Miss Mais doon. And we would also love to hear your insights. Feel free to tag us and share your thoughts and experiences about this event. And you can also share this video then as we post this one.
So lahat po ng restaurant owners and food businesses, laban lang po tayo. And thank you so much, Zomato. So that ends our... Nako, magpapaalam na tayo, Tony. We pray for everyone's safety during this crisis. Until then, hang in there. We are all in this together. My name is Mai Sandico from PMCM Events Management.
And this is your total host, Tony Bilaro.
Bye!
Thank you, everyone. Maraming salamat. Salamat sa inyong lahat. And stay safe. Have a great day. And advance Happy Mother's Day to all moms.
Happy Mother's Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Tony.
Hi there. This video will teach you how to issue an email invoice to your customers. If you already have your credentials for your PayMaya Manager account, you can then proceed to click the Invoice tab on the left-hand side of your screen. When the invoice page loads, click Create New Invoice. Input the details of the purchase service or product like the unit price and the item's description. Click on the calendar button on the right-hand side of your screen and set the transaction date and the invoice due date. Select your currency and complete your customer's details. When you're done, review the information sheet and click Send. An invoice will be sent to your customers via email. So let's recap how to email a payment invoice. First, you click on the Invoices tab. Then, you create a new invoice. Third, just fill up the required information. And finally, click Send. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your PayMaya partner. Hi there, this is a walkthrough video on how to pay using PayMaya's online invoice. Customers will receive their invoice via email in this format. Once information is confirmed, customer must click the Pay Now button, after which they will be redirected to a payment page where they can view their order summary and choose between three payment options. Number 1, pay with PayMaya. Number 2, via credit or debit card. And number 3, with PayMaya QR. For Pay with PayMaya, log in your account details and you will be led to a page to validate your purchase. For credit and debit card payments, just fill in your credentials along with your card information and email address for your e-receipt. For PayMaya QR, simply log on to your PayMaya app on your mobile phone, tap on Scan QR to pay, and scan the QR code via your app. And you're done. You will receive an e-receipt via email as proof of your payment. So let's recap how to pay an online invoice. First, click Pay Now. Then you choose a payment option. Finally, you scan the PayMaya QR code or just click Pay Now. For any customer concerns, customers can call or email PayMaya's customer support.